Okay, in today's class, I'm going to explain constructor overloading in C++ language. Okay, in the previous class, I have explained that what is constructor. So these all classes are being conducted under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation free classes, especially thrice of a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days of a week will be conducted without fail sharply in 8 p.m. in the Zoom platform. Okay, these my intention to arrange these classes, especially those rural students who are totally living away of the network centers and they are not affordable to pay the fees for expensive classes. So that's why I started these classes under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation since 2023, 14 January. Okay. So I hope that these classes will be so useful to you. And it doesn't mean whether anybody is attending my classes or not. So on that 3 days, Saturday, Sunday classes will be conducted. If anybody is attending or not attending, doesn't mean classes will be conducted and that will be recorded and will be kept in my YouTube channel. Okay, as a record so that in further the classes will be useful to others. Okay, so now let me explain that. In the previous class, I have told you that what is constructor. Constructor is nothing but it is a special method. Okay, in the previous class, I have briefed that. And constructor is a special method which will automatically called when an object of a class is created. So whenever a class is created, for that, if we create an object, so that constructor will be automatically called. Otherwise, what we need to do that we need to call the method. Okay, that method, class attributes, okay, class parameters. So we need to call with the object. Okay, but by the constructor, whenever object is created, so constructor is special method that will be automatically called. In the previous class already I have briefed. Okay, so constructor always created with the same name of the class. I told you that this is the class name and created with the class keyword. This is the public means access specifier. It will indicate that the class attributes, class methods, how they will be accessed publicly means inside of the class, outside of the class, from anywhere they can be accessed. So this is the constructor, same class name. I told you that condition is that we need to create the constructor with the class name, but this parenthesis brackets is very compulsory because of I told you that constructor is a special method. A method and function, they must be suffixed with brackets. These are called parentheses. Okay. So constructor created, then after inside of the main function. So whenever object created, this is the object name can be any type, any name, understand, X, Y, Z, your name, my name, Vasu, any name you can keep, up. Okay, this is the object name created for class. Okay, so once object is created, then what happened? Once object is created, then automatically the method, that constructor, this will be called. Inside of this class method, the statement written, this is the statement, it will be executed. Okay. So always the class method will be written type, not written type. Okay. It is a not written type. The condition constructor rules, constructor has the same name as the class. It is no return type means constructor method will not return anything. Okay. So generally it is public declared as public. So it is automatically called when the object is created. This class I have conducted in the previous session. It is a recap of the class and constructor can be declared and defined with the parameters. Okay. Inside of this is the constructor car. Okay, created for this car class. Same class name will be kept for the car object. For this class, this is the constructor, same as the class name. So inside of these parentheses, these are what parameters. Okay, This class also I have conducted. Understood that? So now constructor overloading is what? Constructor overloading means one constructor in C++, what happened? We can have more than one constructor in the same class. Once a class is declared, and that class may have more than one constructor. That is called constructor overloading. So one class may have more than one constructor in the same class. Same class, okay? That is called constructor overloading. So that moment, each constructor must have different number, different type of parameters, different number or type of parameters. So, so let us see how the constructor overloading can be done, okay, in this class. So example with two constructors, what is constructor overloading means? If a class has more than one constructor, means in the same class, if we declare more than one constructor, that is called constructor overloading with the different parameters. That is very important. Huh? That point, different number or different type of parameters. See here, this is the car class. Car class created with class name. I told you that in C++, first class keyword must be used to create any class. That is class name. It is up to you, whatever the class name you want to keep. Next, access specified. It is very important to declare class access level, whether it is public, private. Okay. So then after two attributes, brand means attributes are nothing but they are the variables declared inside of the class. These are called class variables. Simply you can call them class attributes. They are the attributes are nothing but they are the variables. This brand is a attribute means variable string type. Model is a attribute means variable. These two are called string attributes of a class. Inside of class, they have been declared, but they are not assigned with any value. They are not, they have not assigned any, they have not assigned any value. Okay. Now, what is this? This is the constructor. I told you that always the constructor will be created with the same name of the class. This is the class name and this is the constructor. Same class name. Then parenthesis is very compulsory. Compulsory parenthesis means brackets. Okay. And inside of the constructor, so this is the brand. So brand is unknown. The string assigned because that is brand is an attribute means variable. It holds string value. So I have given the string value unknown. Model also unknown like that. Okay. You can give any model brand. Okay. It doesn't matter. Now one more constructor, same. This constructor, it has no any parameters. In this brackets, parenthesis, I have not provided any parameter. So here I have provided two parameters in second construct, string B, string M. Now brand is equal to what? B and model is equal to M. So brand is a variable. Here in this is what? Parameter. Okay, this is the variable. Brand is variable, model is a variable, unknown here. We have not mentioned any here. But in the second constructor, I have provided the parameters, means parameters, string parameter. Parameter, nothing but they are also variables. Attributes, parameters, variables, all are equal. Don't confuse yourself. Here I have stated attributes declared inside of the class. They are variables not assigned with any values. In the constructor, the values written as unknown. In the second constructor, parameters declared. Okay, string as string B. B is a parameter means variable. Don't confuse them. B is a variable. Huh? Generally, whenever when they will be called as parameters, whenever variables pass to any method. Here car is a special method, means constructor. So instead of when para variables are passed, it is a string variable. Okay, m is a string variable. Two variables are passed, then they will be called as parameters. Once parameters pass to any method, we need to give arguments, means as a values whenever we call that method. So inside of the main function object created here, car class, car1 object, car2 object. Here car2 object provided with the values. Values are what? These are arguments. Means for that brand is BMW, model is equal to X5. So next one more object created here. Here object created, but not assigned any values. Here assigned means values as arguments. Here also arguments. Three objects created for this car class, car1, car2, car3. Now what happened? Whenever we want to get output, okay, print, cout object will be used to get printout on the, if I want to see on the screen. At first car1 car, whenever we call the object one, whenever we call the, automatically that will be called car1 dot brand. Okay, so and car1 dot model. So unknown. Okay, we have given the values are here unknown. So they will be displayed for car2 and BMW X5 and Ford for car3. So different values will be passed to that objects. Okay. So what is the constructor role? Lets you create objects with custom values. Custom values are what? So custom values as per the customer. So as per the programmer, he can customize the values for the objects. That is the reason constructor overloading. The programmer can customize the values to the objects. Okay. So now we will practice this code, the same thing. This is the code. So this is the result window here. This is the code window. This is the code window. This is the what? Result window. So this code, I told you that this is not an IDE. It is an online web editor. You can write the code there and you can edit and run the code. Okay. If you want to install any IDE like Code Blacks, which will support for the C and C++. Otherwise, VS Code, Visual Studio Code, IDE you can install in your computers. If you don't want to install any IDE, you can simply go to any like W3 schools and somewhat Java T Point, Geeks for Geeks websites, and there you can write the code on the spot and you can check the code. Okay. Now totally you delete the total code. You delete the total code. You totally delete that. You totally delete the total code, and we will practice the code here. Okay. So now your code window is deleted totally. Now I want to practice, right? First of all, we need to first hash is very important in C language or C and C++. Next include is what? One keyword we need to write here. Oh, include means import. Some libraries, we need to import that libraries which will help us to work with the input and output functions. Okay, here IOStream is one library in C++, which will be used to support what? To work with input output related functions like printf function, scanf function will be mostly used to take take input from the keyboard from the user, and printf function will be used for your display. But here in C++, for scanf will be seen object will be used for to get display on the screen. Cout object will be used. Okay, now come to the point. One library included here. One more library. If you want to work with strings in C and C++, we need to include one library that is called string. Okay. Now, two libraries I have included. Now come to the point. Now, first of all, let me create a class with the class key name, keyword, class, and then class keyword compulsory. Then after any name of the class, it is any name. Human beings is a class. Birds is a class. Animals is a class. Fruits is a class. Car is a class. Okay, birds, aquatics, insects, creatures, any one is a class. Motorcycle, so all the motorcycles, they are part of a class. Motorcycle class. Student class. In the student class, so many students may be there. Every student has different unique attributes, so that is called student class. Maybe one student has height 170 centimeter, one student has 165, one student has 169. Every student has different unique ID name, ID number. Okay, like that. Okay. So now here we want to take a class car. That is car class. Okay. Once car class is created, it must be enclosed with this open brace and close brace. That is very important. So once class is created, you need to terminate with the semicolon. Now, the the body shape I have created, class with the car name declared. This is called a declaration. You simply write here declaration of the class. Why declaration means, try to understand. Declaration means I have not written any statements in this is car class is empty, means there is no any instructions inside of this class. Instruction means statements. Every line of code is called. Every line of code is called a statement, otherwise instruction. So that's why it is called declared, car declared, not defined. Car declared, class declared, class declared, not defined, and not defined. Why? Why not defined? Because you have not mentioned any statement. Just car declare, class declared with a name, car class, with the class keyword. Okay. Now, we will create some variables. We will create some variables. These are what you know, single quotation, single statement. Single statement means that line of statement will not be read by the C++ compiler. So to forward slash indicate that single quotation. That line of statement will not be executed by the, that will not be read by your C++ compiler. So variables, okay, class variables, declaration of the class variables. Okay. So class variables, I told you that class variables are what? Are attributes. Class attributes. Okay. Don't confuse yourself. Huh? Attributes, class, variables are same. Now create any attribute. Variables like what's brand. Brand is a, okay. So brand is what? One variable. So model, class, every car has a brand. So that is right. Every car has a brand. Every car has model. Every car has some height, color. So which are related with car, all are called attributes. So that attributes will indicate that how the car looks, whether the car looks color yellow, and brand is what, which brand means company, model is what. So these all are called attributes of the class, but they are variables. Means they will hold some type of value. So see, in the C++, C, Java, I told you that whenever variable is created, we need to state that it is which type of variable. So it is wrong. Declaring any variable in this way is wrong in C and C++ in Java also. That variable to be defined, declared with which type of string. Okay. This is string type of, this brand is a variable, it is string type. This model is a variable, it is also string. Means these two variables will hold string values. So they are the attributes of the class which will specify the attributes of the car class. Generally, they are variables. Don't confuse. Huh? Now, two attributes means variables, brand and model. They have been declared inside of the car class, but not defined, not assigned with any value. Assigned means once it is created, we need to keep is equal. Then brand is what? Brand, which brand? Any brand. So brand is what? Suppose Maruti. Okay. Now, whenever you do this, this variable brand is assigned with a value. Why in double quotation marks? Because already you have declared this brand variable holds what type of data? String type. That's why you have given the string and it is kept in double quotation marks. Already I have taught in the classes, previous classes, I told you that in C++ and C, even though in Java also always the strings will be kept in double quotation marks. So now we can say that this class is defined. Class is defined. This is called defined. That attribute is defined. This word, this brand attribute is defined with a value, but undefined. Undefined means what? You need to write like this: string, brand. Okay, understood that. Now come to the point. Now, just it is what? Undefined attribute. Undefined means unassigned. So assigned, defined attributes. Defined attribute. This is not undefined attributes. Undefined, unassigned. You can simply say that unassigned. Unassigned attributes. Huh? Variable attributes are nothing but they are the variables. Okay. Now try to come to the point. Two variables means attributes have been declared inside of the car class, but not assigned with any value here as assigned. But this line of statement I have kept with comments of two forward slash mean this statement in any programming language, every line is called a statement, otherwise instruction. So now whenever we kept two forward slashes in front of any line, that line of statement will not be read by the compiler. C++, C compiler, C++. I told you that C and C++, Java, three languages are compiler-based programming languages, and Python is an interpreter-based programming. All these are translator programs, which will convert the high-level language, means your source code into machine language. Okay. Now, once what happened? Two attributes have been created. Now we need to create what is next? Constructor creation. Constructor. Okay, constructor. So how to create constructor? If you want to convert this, if you are not able to see the proper code, we can convert this. And if you are not able, I can increase the size of the screen. Okay, size of the screen like this. Don't worry. Yeah. Now come to this. Okay. Now class is declared. The car class attributes declared but unassigned with variables. Now constructor. What is the rule to create a constructor? Constructor is what? A special method. A special method. Okay. It is a special method. So I told you that what are the rules before creating the constructor? Rules are what? Constructor must have it must the constructor must be declared with the class name. What is our class name? This is class name. Okay. Now, with the same class name, then must be suffixed with brackets. Now, this is called one constructor created for what? This car class. constructor, a special method created, okay, without any parameters. This is called what? Inside of this brackets, I have not kept any parameters. Means I told you that whenever you keep these attributes inside of the attributes means variable inside of this brackets, they are called parameters. So now here we can say that not defined, not defined with any parameters, with parameters. Okay, means any, now I have not kept any variables inside of this method constructor. So this is called constructor created without parameters. Constructor created without parameters. So now create one more constructor with the same class. Okay, same class, but with parameters. With the parameters. So how can I keep here parameters here? See which type of parameters I will provide to this. One is that suppose one parameter string A, comma, string B. So two parameters I have provided inside of this constructor, car constructor. A parameter, it is a variable, means I told you that when variables are kept inside of any method, so constructor is a method, they are called parameters. So now you comment here, A comma B are parameters. A comma B are parameters. Parameters means what do you mean of that? Parameters mean they are the variables. Whenever you have declared variables inside of the car, they are called attributes. Once variables are declared inside of the method, means constructor, they are called parameters. Now this is called constructor with parameters. This is constructor without parameter. There is no any parameter. Here parameters. A, B are two parameters, means variables. They are string type of variables. Now what? What we need to do that? Here, see. So now what happened here? Inside of this car, this constructor, okay, inside of first constructor. So here what we have achieved constructor overloading. This is called why? What is the definition? Today's class is what? Today's class. Today's class is constructor overloading. Understood that? Okay. So I told you that constructor overloading is what? Creating more than one constructor in a class. Creating more than one class. Creating more than one constructor in class. In a class. Okay. That is called, we need to keep the two forward slashes. Every line of statement to be kept with the two forward slashes so that these line of code will not be read by the C++ compiler. So constructor overloading means creating more than one constructor in a class. So in a class, car class, creating more than one constructor. So how many constructors I have? This is one constructor without parameters, but definition is what? Creating more than one constructor in a class with different parameters. The different different parameters. Type of parameters. Okay. So here I have not kept any parameters. Here I have kept parameters. Parameters are the variables, nothing. Parameters are variables. Two parameters I have kept here. Both are string type. Here, no any parameters. Understood that? So, what we can say that Simply you can write brand. First parameter, brand is equal to what? It is brand is defined with the brand is what? String type. So in constructor, I have assigned the values for the brand as unknown. Okay. Now for model because brand is what? String type. So I have assigned unknown. Here brand model is equal value assigned with string type unknown. Unknown. Okay. It is string type. That's why I have mentioned string value. Okay, because brand is a variable which will hold string data type. So I have provided string. So now inside of this car, one more inside of this same brand, okay, is equal inside of another constructor. What is that? Brand is equal to what? Brand is equal to Maruti. Terminate with the semicolon. Model is equal to what? Maruti Ertiga. Ertiga is the model. Okay. Terminate semicolon. Now, two constructors are created with the different parameters. So two constructor, car is a constructor, car is a constructor. This is not defined with any parameter, without parameters. This is defined with the parameters. So as per our definition, constructor overloading means creating more than one constructor in a class with different parameters. Here, no parameters, here parameters. So now how to, what is the role of this constructor? Object is created. Whenever object is created for this class car, so these constructors will be called automatically. So let us create what? Let us create what? We need to create objects. So int main function inside of the flower braces, okay, come. So now inside of this, I told you that end of this, we need to keep a statement that is called return. 0 is very important. Okay, now here, inside of this main function, we need to create the object. You mentioned here, create object for the class. Okay. Now, what is your class? Your class name is equal to car. Understood that? So for that class, we need to create first class name, object name, any object name, X, Y, Z, your name, my name, Vasu, your name, any as per your wish. So simply if you write car one is an object created for car class. Syntax is first class name, then object name, any X, Y, Z. Now, this is what once object is created, na, so inside of that, we need to pass what? The values. The values we need to pass the values in the special method, means constructor, while we are calling, okay, with the help of the object, okay. Object is created. This is the first object is created. Object one. Object one. Next, car. One more object created here. Car two. Okay. Depend upon your one more object if you want to create for this car class. Car three. Any object name, anything you can get. Okay. Now, second object. This is object two. Object two created. This is object object 3. Okay. Now come to the point. Huh? So three objects created. As I told you that what is constructor? Whenever we create the object for any class, car class, so this constructor will be called automatically. Constructor will be called automatically. So let us see how to write the code to call the to take the cout object. Cout is what? Cout will be used to get display on the screen. Okay. Cout. Next, insertion operator. That is very important. Insertion. Okay, operator. Inside of that, we need to explain what? We need to call what? Any, suppose, car one equal to. Okay. So then after what? Insertion operator. We need to call which object. So if I call this car object, automatically what happened? That method will be called. Which method will be called? That constructor method. Okay. So now what we have done here, two constructors created. One is this one constructor, another one constructor with parameters. So now constructor overloading achieved here. Okay. So then after what we need to inside of the main function objects created. So this object created, okay, and it is not provided with any values, means arguments. Okay, but here I want to pass the values. For whom? I want to pass the values for whom? Here, once values are passed, they are called arguments. Okay, arguments. What arguments we need to pass here? See, for every brand, okay, brand, okay, for that brand is string type. Okay, values passed in the constructor, inside of the constructor as what you know. So brand is equal to A. Okay, why? Because for the string brand, so parameter same string type of parameter I have kept, but that is A. So brand is equal to what? A. Next, model is equal to what? B, because here attribute is model string and parameter passed as string type of B. So mod brand is equal to A, brand is model is equal to B. Now come to the point here inside of this object car 2. How many objects created? Car 1, car 2, car 3. So here car 1 not specified any values, means arguments are not provided. Here I want to provide the arguments values. As values means once values kept inside of that is called what? Your arguments. Values are called arguments. So that arguments will be values, means values will be passed to these A, B parameters. Now A, B parameter, A is equal to brand, so that values updated. Now your attributes of that class will be updated. Okay, understood. So see here what happened. So here values are what? It is string type. So you keep what? That is what? Maruti. Okay, this is what? Brand. Next. Brand, next model, that is equal to model is equal to what? Model. String type of Maruti Ertiga. Okay. No. See what happened? Two values I have passed. Okay. Two values. These two values are called arguments. whenever you have passed the values inside of the object, they are called arguments. Now, these arguments means values will be passed to whom? These parameters. Now, parameters means these are variables. These variables are holding these values. So, I told you that always variables will hold the values, string. Why string? Because I have declared them as string. So I need to provide. If you have declared them as string, you need to provide the value string. Now these values will be passed to these parameters, means value variables. Now these variables A equal to brand and B equal to model. Now these values will be passed to these attributes declared inside of your car class. So initially these attributes have not defined with assigned with any values by the constructor. With the help of the constructor, by creating the constructor, we can pass the values to the attributes of the class. Let us see. One more, because of three, inside of this, one more constructor. So I need to pass the values. So string any Renault. Renault is the brand. Okay. And model is equal to what? Driver. Okay. Understood that. See, now if you want to get the printout like this, see out the object to be used to get the printout. The string will be displayed like car1 here. And then after we will call that brand car1 dot brand. Okay. Next, insertion operator. Then if you want to give any space, okay, that moment what happened? This is what space given again insertion operator. Now car1 dot what? Model. Okay. Next, you close this one. Now see, now if you call this statement, if you run this, car1 parameters will be displayed. Okay, because first car1 you have not mentioned any values here, and they are mentioned as brand is equal to unknown, because inside of the this constructor you have declared unknown. Okay, so but so in C language, C++, we need to one statement here, that is using namespace standard. That is very important. This using namespace standard library, that standard library to be used in C++. For what purpose? If you want to keep names for these variables names, method names, object names. Object names are what? Car1, car2 objects I have created. So if you want to use names for any variables and objects methods, this standard library must be used. Otherwise, you will get the error. Okay, now let us try to run this code. So what happened? If there is an error, we need to check back the code where. So a lot of problem is here. Why? Because C++ compiler stating that this line of statement here error. Why? Because namespace. I have written the mistake here. It is underlining here. You come here and you correct that code. So namespace, simple, okay, namespace. Now run this code. If code is everything is okay, your code will be executed. So why it is stating here? See, brand is equal to unknown. Now, in which line? Okay, error is here. In which line error is here? Brand is equal to unknown. Okay, 17th line. What is the to rectify little bit of mistakes we have done? We need to adjust that code. That is what this is what one. This is car constructor. Okay, this is a special method. Now inside of this, okay, Okay, this is the right thing. Okay, why? Because method, these attributes that must be specified inside of the flower braces. Inside of the flower braces. That is the right thing I have done here. So now the same thing here also we need to remove this one and we need to keep the flower brace here and it is to be terminated with the flower brace. So because this method, it is a special method declared and to constructor, both are special method declared inside of the class and class is terminated. Okay. So flower braces, inside of the flower braces, the parameters to be compared. Compared means equalized. Equalized means by these parameters, these attributes will be updated with the values I have provided here. Okay. Now run this code. If anything is error, I need to check back that still lot of errors. Car is equal to car one. Okay. In function, int main function. Where is this? This is one error here. So car one, what happened here? Car is equal to car one. Why? Car 16, car without parameters. Object created here. So let me check that where is the error. One mistake is that whenever class is declared, we need to specify that access level of the class. That is very important. Right? This is the mistake we have done. So access level, this is called access level of the class. Access level of the class. That is very important. Huh? Access level. Once class is declared, access level, that is very important. So if you get the errors, this is the right code. Your code is executed. Huh? So the mistakes what we have done, I want to explain that. This is very important. You must be able to read this debug window. Means result window. In the result window, if any errors are there, they are called bugs. We need to, by who will explain the bugs? Compiler. Compiler is a translator program which is residing in any language and depend upon every compiler, all interpreter, they are called translator programs. They will be residing in the programming language. They will help you that how you have written the code, whether you have written the code in a proper manner. If there is any errors are there, this compiler checks the code and intimate that in this line error is there so that you can read that and you can rectify the code. So until unless you will not be able to rectify the code, your code will not be executed. Means the result, you can't be able to see the result on the screen like we are seeing here. So before that, the mistake, see, if I have, see this public class, I have not specified, keep it in comment section. Now run this, you will get the error here. So compiler reads all this much of error. So it is very typical to understand this total. You should be understand. It will keeping you in somewhat an ambiguous condition, confusion condition. You don't want be, you will not be, you wouldn't be able to find out where is the error is here. Errors are bugs. Means you have not written. It will indicate that, underline that here is error. So, so for this only simple statement I have, where is that pub class? Class is not, level of the class is not defined. Remove this statement, remove the, that is what you know, your access level. This is public. Before that, just I have kept the single comment, single level comment lines, okay, two forward slashes. Now your code will be executed. Okay. Now, even though if you have not mentioned this line of code, means using namespace standard, if you keep two forward slashes means this line of statement kept under comments. Means this line of code will not be read by your C++ compiler. Still, you will get the you will not get results. You will get a lot of errors. Why? Because unassigned values, unassigned variables. mostly string doesn't name. So it will give that uh, a model was not declared. So model brand was not declared. So what do you mean of this? If you want to use names for any variable, string type of variable, I want to use brand model to variables. These are the names of the variables. So I told you that this using namespace standard, this standard library mostly used in C++ language, whenever you want to keep names for variables, methods, objects. That moment, this standard std library will be used to keep the names for all that variables, objects, and classes, even the classes also. So now you will get the result. There's no any problem here. So car one unknown unknown. Why? Because unknown because see what happened here. Now what is constructor overloading? As I told you that constructor overloading, what is the use of constructor overloading? Constructor overloading lets you create the objects with custom values. So now programmer can customize the objects with custom values. So once objects are created, he can customize with the values. So customize values means as per my wish as a programmer, these are customized values for every object. For car one unknown, for second object, these are the customized values. For object car 3, customized values. So by the constructor overloading, we can create the objects as you wish. We can create multiple objects with customized value. Customized values means you can keep the values as the arguments. See, you can pass the values where our values are have been passed here. Now, whenever values have been passed in the object, they are called what? They are called what? Arguments. Okay, these are called arguments. You can simply comment here values passed, values passed as arguments. As arguments. Okay, understood that. Now if I want to get car1 car1 result is there with unknown values. So what about that? Why car1? Because you have not passed any values here. You have not passed any values. You have not passed any value. If you kept that brackets here, then what happened here? See, it is giving error. So because na, so you have declared here unknown. So you remove this bracket. So then you will get the okay. Now car2 you have passed the values. So these values called arguments. These values passed to whom? Because your method, special method will be called. What is your special method? So first constructor without parameters. So this method called with unknown. For next, this method will be called. So whenever this method is being called, these values will be passed to these parameters. But here there are no any parameters. That's why unknown values. Here parameters are there. So these values pass to these parameters. A is equal to what? Maruti. So A is here. A is equal to what? Brand. So that Maruti will be uh, that Maruti brand value will be updated in this attribute class attribute. So these class attributes will be updated with the values. Okay. Now you copy this one. You copy this one. You paste here. See out. So you mentioned this as a car2 because of car1, car2 you want to see here. Now here you write list car2 dot brand car2 dot model. So car2, what for car2 object, you have passed these values. So these values are customized. So customized as per you have as per the programmer, whatever you have passed the values, that's why they're customized as per your requirement. Okay. So now these values passed to second object, car2. Okay. So now you run this code, you will get one more object. So car1 unknown, car2 Maruti Ertiga, but both are mingled, mixed. So if you want to keep here, that is what you know, that is a next line character. If you want to keep like next line character, you need to do like this. Okay, backslash n, backslash n. So that moment, what happened? The two statements will be kept. Okay, one by one. So this is called backslash n is used in C++ to get next line. Okay, next line. Okay, new line. New line will be created and the result will be kept at new line. These two values, Maruti Ertiga, these are customized values. These values means arguments. Why arguments? Whenever you pass any values, they will be called as argument. These values will be passed to whom? These parameters A, comma B. So now A is equal to brand. So B is equal to model. So these values will be updated in your brand model, which are declared inside of the car as variables, means class attributes. Now class attributes will be updated. Okay. So now Maruti Ertiga, these are the values of car2 object. Now one more object if you want to create. So one more same copy here. So here, so now here you can mention like this car3, car3. Okay, now brand car3 brand. So now what happened? This result, because this object created for car3, na? So your car3 dot brand. So now whenever you run this code, what happened here? Let us see what happened here. See, car2 result is here, but both are mingled. So keep the next line character here. Next line character with insertion operator. So in double quotation marks, keep backslash n. Understood that? That is next line character. You will get 3 lines of statements. Result will be. So now what happened? How can you understand that? Today's class, what happened? Constructor overloading. What do you mean of that constructor overload? Whenever you create in a class more than one constructor with different parameters, that is called constructor overloading. What is the role of constructor overloading? To customize the values for the objects. So objects will be created and they can customize with the values. So car1 is object created, car2 is the object created, car3 objects created, but they have been customized with the different values. Okay, different value. For that purpose, constructor overloading mostly will be used in C++. This is the class I have. Now, don't worry, very easy class. If you keep your attention, you focus over the topics, it is very easy to understand the classes. As I told you that all these classes are under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation. I want to mention here, okay, under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation. Okay. So the foundation raised over my parents' name under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation. 3 days of a week classes will be conducted. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Friday, comma, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, sharply at 8 p.m. Huh? at 0800 p.m. So constructor overloading is a topic in C++ language, not only in C++, in Java also. So I told you that constructor in the previous class is a special method which will be created to call the objects automatically. Means whenever object is created, to call that constructor method automatically whenever object is created. So generally any method to be called with the object name, otherwise class name. But whenever constructor is created, so that moment for object, whenever object is created, that constructor method will be automatically called. Okay. So that is the class. You can, I hope that you can understand, very simple class. Okay. This line of statement calling using of standard library, that is very important, otherwise you will get the error. Car is car class declared. Okay, and this is the access level of the class, and these statements are these two statements used with single line comments, means these statements will not be read by your C++ compiler. Two attributes declared inside of the class, and constructor created, construct special method, and without parameters here, without any parameters. Okay, but inside of the class, these class attributes assigned with the values. Okay, unknown. And one more constructor created with parameters a comma b. Now these attributes, means variables, are equalized with parameters, means parameters, these are variables, these are also variables. But here these are called class attributes. Here whenever variables passed to a constructor, they are called parameters. Equalized. Why? Because values declared, whatever the values you have assigned inside of the object, okay, they will be passed to these parameters, and parameters equalized with attributes. Now your class attributes means object. Okay, every object will be assigned, customized with whatever the values you will pass, so that so many objects can be created and they can be customized. So many objects for this single class, one class is created. This is the single class, and for that class we can create more objects, whatever, but they can be customized with the values whatever you want to pass. That is the main motive of the class. Okay, but what is constructor overloading? Generally, see what happened here. This is the constructor overloading. Generally, what happens whenever constructor is created is a special method for this class. This is the constructor method. Okay. Now, constructor, I told you that it is non-written type. It will not return anything. There is no any calculation. Simply whatever the statement, it is non-written type. Simply means it is void type. It will not return anything. Whatever the statement you will be kept inside of this constructor, that will be called whenever you create the object. So here, this is the object created for class name. So whenever what happened, object is created, so automatically this constructor method will be called, means you will get the result. See, if you see this code, what happened here, this line of statement is compulsory to get the standard library to be used. So this is what class created. This access level is public, and method created with the same class name. And inside of the statement, whatever you have, that will be called whenever you create. The object is created. So here, once my object is created, keep in your mind, I have not called that method. See, just object created. Create an object of same class with the same class name. Okay, this is the class name, and constructor will be same with class name for this class object created. Now I have not called this method. So this line of statement we are getting here. So that is the use of what? Constructor. So constructor, I told you that rules, every constructor must be created with the same class name, And constructor, it is not, it is non-written type, it will not written anything. It declared, no need to declare it itself public. Is a constructor is a method, no need to declare it as a public. Generally, it is public type, automatically called when object is created. So we can define the constructor with the parameters like I have done. Okay, see here two attributes, class attributes means class variables declared inside of the class, and this is integer attribute, and then this is what constructor created with the parameters now equalized. This is the y, x, y, z are what parameters means variables. Once they pass it to the constructor, they are called variables. Now these variables and these variables will be equalized. So for this x variable, brand is equalized. For y variable, model is equalized. So that y, whenever we pass the values, objects are created for this car class, car object one. This is the object one, object two. Once objects created, so these objects call the constructor automatically and means these values passed as argument. So these values will be passed to this parameters, and parameters equalized with attributes. Now your class attributes means updated with the values, so that we can call different objects. We can call different objects. Okay. See here. So if you want to keep one string inside of the, just before that, you can keep a string type of statement, car1. Okay. Car1. So this is what car2. Car2. Okay. Now you run this code. What happened here? We are getting error. So not here. It is a mistake I have done here. Not here. You copy, you cut. You cut here. You paste just. Okay. That is what you need to do here. And you cut this one. Okay. You paste for object 2. You paste here. Okay. Now. So now you run this code. Still the file included C out. So here no comma, you need to keep insertion operator. Okay, you need to keep insertion operator, car1, okay, and car2. Okay, now run this code. Code will be executed. So that is what, before that, just we were seeing the only values. That values, they will be represented for which car, car1. Okay, how many objects you want to create? If you want to create more objects with customized values, means as per your requirement, car1, which type of car it is, BMW, model, and year, which year. Okay, if you want to keep this year in your coding, where that code we have written here. So if you want to mention that, if you want to see here as a year also, you need to create one more attribute. That is integer attribute. We need to declare that as integer. Okay. Integer top of year. Okay. Now what happened? One more attribute you have declared inside of the class. That is what, one variable you have created inside of the class, that is integer data type. So now here you need to Here, what year, okay, is equal to unknown. Why? Because one object is unknown types. Okay, there's no any problem. Okay, now here you need to pass one more parameter here. That is what int type you need to declare. That is very important. Huh? That is int type and C, one parameter. Okay, now, okay, comment here. So A, B, C are parameters. A parameter equalized with brand, B parameter equalized with model. Next here, I need to write year is equalized with C. That is very important. Huh? So now what happened? See, three parameters A, B, C. As per your attributes, the parameters must be equal to attributes data types. First attribute is string type, so parameter created as string. Second attribute is model, attribute is string type, so I have created parameter as string. Third attribute is here integer type, so I have created parameter integer type. So now what happened? All these parameters equalized with the attributes. Next, come to the point here, whenever object is created, here we need to pass the values. How many parameters you have created? Oh, three parameters and three attributes. So the values must be passed equally. Otherwise, you will get the errors. Now, if you run the code, now, you will get the, if you run this code, you will get this type of error. So positional parameter, positional argument error, positional argument error. Okay. So here you need to pass these values as year. Year is what you know? Year. Year no need, year is integer, no need to keep them in string. Okay. Year suppose 2024. This is 2000, 2024. So here 2024. So okay. Here we need to pass the value as 2025. Okay. Okay. Object 2 created, object 1. This is object 3. So now what happened? So here, while we are calling car brand, car model, then after we need to call car 1 year. Car 1 dot year. And then next insertion operator. Okay. Backslash n. Otherwise, you will get all the result will be mingled. Okay. Car1 dot here. Again, here also we need to call that car1 dot here. Car2 dot here. Okay. Insertion operator again. Here also car3 brand, car3 dot model. Next. So car3 dot car3 dot what? Here. Okay. Understood that like this. Okay. Now run this code. Whether you have written the code properly, error is where different where errors are we are getting. So we need to check back the error are where same year, one more attribute created that is integer type, year is equal to unknown. Okay. String brand model year unknown. So next is what? One parameter int C. So now year is equal to your attribute is equalized with C. Now come to here car1, car2. So while passing the values, we need to pass the values as so this is object, na? So this is object, this is the mistake. Because now I have mentioned as comments. So I want to just indicate that this is second object. This is the first object. Comments I have mentioned here. So now this is okay. This is okay. 2025. Now run this code. Still error is there. We need to check still error is there. So no any issue. This is what result Renault. This is for what 2025 is okay. See out car one dot brand, car one dot model, next car one dot year, backslash for two dot model is compiler stating that at end of expected this flower brace in where 52 line. Okay, 52 line, this brace to be mentioned. So this constructor created with this brace. So you have brace forgotten, otherwise that is omitted, erased. Now run this second constructor started with the open brace, closed with brace, class is closed. Now run this code. So let us see what happened here. So still one more error is here. So all the errors we have, all the bugs, errors I have cleared. One more, 23, year is equal to unknown. So here, constant character, okay? So here, year is equal to unknown, 23 is a constant character. So error invalid conversion from constant character to int, okay? So year unknown. So hello. Yes. Hold on 1 second. Wait. Krishna, hi, thanks for waiting. I just wanted to check. You had said this detail, right? Medical details, correct? Yes. So your band one, correct? Sorry? Oh, yes, band one. So your band one, Krishna. Yes. You and your spouse is covered for the medical, okay? That covered. The band one, okay? Just wanted to inform you that your voice detail is updated or not? Yes, I updated. I have given you Excel form, right? Date of birth. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Will you come again? No, what I'm saying, I mean, in the mail only, I have given my details and my wife and my children, you can say. Yeah, what I did is I updated your wife your details. You are not previously updated your wife details, right? Yes, I did update. Okay, so I get that update.